it's been a Sunday rich and laden with storylines, and Giroud, one of the key ones. But he should have had another goal, Lynsey, as well. That overhead kick that was so cruelly disallowed.
Is that the best goal that we've seen so far to be disallowed at this tournament? I would argue it is. And it doesn't make you feel any better. In the Premier League, I was at that match at the MX where Alexis McAllister had that thunderbolt of a strike ruled out and then scored anyway. It felt reminiscent of that because Giroud also scored here. So you think, oh, well, will that be forgotten more easily? I'd say no. I'd say it won't be forgotten as easily, especially because when he's going back, and it's not too far away, James, is it, from looking back over his career? That time could be coming. And the video of all his France international goals, that one will be missing, and it's a crime. It is a crime.
That is poignant, as you say. Yeah, he's 36, isn't he? Time marching on.
It's not like Giroud is lacking for beautiful goals now.
No, that's
Come on.
true. I also really like the assist on the first goal for Mbappe, where I don't know who hooks the ball upfield, but after the goal was scored, they showed the replay from the spider cam, so it was directly overhead. And the ball goes so high that it very, very nearly takes the spider cam out, but he manages to just hook it out of the sky and then swivel it on to Mbappe.
It's a remarkable piece of play. It's a fantastic goal celebration. Truly something out of Dirty Dancing, or
when he and
the warm embrace of Giroud and Mbappe, and also sort of that soft reminder of Giroud has the record for now, but Mbappe will probably have it by the next World Cup.
Yeah,
they're astonishing. I think Benzema's injury has probably helped this France team. He's probably, with no Benzema and having to play through Giroud, it's probably clarified France's attacking form. I think sometimes having a bigger toolbox isn't as good as just having the best tools. And for international football, Olivier Giroud he's remarkable at what you need to do if you want to progress the ball vertically and break down low blocks, which Poland did for half an hour or so. There are few strikers out there better than Olivier Giroud.
Poland, who came out, their players were exhorting them to play ball in this game, and they did a bit more. They had shots. They had 3 shots on target in this game, which I think was pretty much doubling their total for the World Cup so far. Lynsey, though, I guess it's France that we're talking about, particularly because they're going to be facing England next time, and England are concerned about France, but surely France must have been watching Sunday night and thinking, ooh la la.
I hope so. We'll give a little nod as well to Robert Lewandowski, who did manage to score that penalty in the end. So he goes out of international football on a semi-high, I think, with that one. But yeah, coming back to France, I think that they will have watched England and will hope that when they look at the attack, they will hope that England won't be brave. I think that's the one thing that concerns them, is that England could be more in that driving, determined mood that we see in sparks. But can they do it over a prolonged period? And also by doing that, they are obviously going to leave gaps. And France are a team that can punish sides with that. So you've got to be as aware defensively. And are we as defensively solid as what we appear to be? I don't think that is true. I think it's a little bit emperor's new clothes. So we haven't had that proper test yet. Could we get preoccupied as well by Mbappe, who's clearly the best player on the planet at the minute? So is there going to be a temptation? Is that what they're hoping, that England will get really distracted by wanting to stop Mbappe, gifting that duty to Kyle Walker, but probably needing reinforcement, and then ignoring the rest of the squad, which is full of talent? You cannot switch off for any of these players. Antoine Griezmann, for instance, has been brilliant. Rabiot, Varane in defence. I just think so many have shone that you can't just switch to thinking about one player being dangerous, not in this France team.
Certainly, when you think about how Kyle Walker was struggling with Sarr, the idea of him being up against Mbappe is an intriguing one.
Kyle Walker's been talked up as the fated Mbappe stopper, and certainly had a good 90 minutes added up across 2 legs when Man City faced PSG in 2020, I want to say. But he looks a couple of yards off that pace now. I completely agree with Lynsey in that you cannot constantly talk about Mbappe, because one big thing about this France team is, they played this asymmetric fullback system where a lot of attacks go down the left-hand side. But the reason they're able to do this is because they've got Ousmane Dembele on the right, who is just phenomenal, bipedal and ambidextrous, very two-footed, loves getting chalk on his boots, and can absolutely crush someone on that right-hand side as well. And the reason this France team can be so dangerous, especially when they're on the transition, is because you can't simply double up on Mbappe because it just creates all this space for Dembele. The thing I'd like to ask Lynsey is, you said this England team might be a bit emperor's new clothes in terms of defence. I think this England team is very good in terms of transition defence. So we've lost the ball, everyone get back 100 miles an hour, hence Kyle Walker and whatnot. Do you think we could get stung in just a decent passing coordinated move that we've seen the Dutch use on the USA?
Yeah, I think we could. And it's just about remaining switched on. And the problem is as well, we haven't got that many options when it comes to defence. So if something isn't working, Gareth hasn't got that many proven partnerships that he could turn to. So we're relying, I think, if anything, we all need to pray that John Stones and Harry Maguire are having a 10 out of 10 against France. Forget about Bellingham and Saka and Kane for a minute. Those are the two that we should be all putting our hands together for and hoping are going to have the game of their lives. The other end, though, just to say that Hugo Lloris is the player that I would want to try and target in this match. Test him. So the fact that you were talking earlier, James, about the amount of shots that England were having on target, the way that they've been more economical with their chances as well, the way that they've fashioned them and worked them, and they've been more substantial. I think if we were with Duncan on the show, he'd be talking to us about the quality of chances as well. I think we need to maintain that with Lloris. I mean, what on earth has happened to Edouard Mendy? I think in terms of his form, it's fallen off a cliff, and we saw that in that performance against Senegal. We need to have a Lloris that's a 7 or a 6 out of 10. And he can have those days.
Hello there. If you've enjoyed this video, why not subscribe to this channel? And if you'd like more Totally Football Show content, then just search for us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Not an Athletic subscriber yet? Then just head to theathletic.com/totally to find out our latest entry offer.